You turn my mourning into dancing. Your love changes everything. There's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my mourning into dancing. 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 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You turn my mourning into dancing. You turn my mourning into dancing. You turn my mourning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my mourning into dancing. You turn my mourning into dancing. You
Good morning, Rooted Men, and happy Wednesday morning. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries, and we are digging into Proverbs chapter 3. We're going to be looking at verses 6 through 9. Getting it done here at the house. Kimberly's at the table, already getting busy over there. She says, hello, gentlemen. Let's see. Who else is on board? I'm on board, obviously. Good morning, Rooted Men. We've got Ken Gooch. Good morning, fellow brothers in arms. Bert Reggiani. Good morning, gentlemen. Chris Connolly is on board. We got a few others popping on. Let me see what we're doing in Rumble. We've got a few over there. We've got a couple on Twitter. So, all right. We seem to be broadcasting in those places. I'm doing 6 through 9, but 6 through 8 tie together, and 9 stands alone as one of the sayings, saying number 10. So let me pull up my text here, and let's look at those 6 through 8. Do not eat the food of a begrudging host. Do not crave his delicacies. For he is the kind of person who is always thinking about the cost. Eat and drink, he says, but his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the little you have eaten, and you will have wasted your compliments. Seems to be a lot of something about something as stupid as food. I think one of the things you got to pick up on here is begrudging. Solomon is saying, be wise enough in the situations of your life to know the attitudes of the individuals who are around you. You know, we try to put the best construction on everything, but we must be wise enough to know that not everybody has the best in mind. See, why in the world is this host having a party at all if they're begrudging doing it? That's the point. They're doing it because they feel it's socially acceptable. They feel it's the way to get to fit in. It's the way to feel important. It's the way to do this and do that. And so they act like they're open-handed, and they act like, you know, eat and drink and be merry, enjoy anything that I have for you, and then simply begrudge not just the money lost, but the time lost. And it was all, I mean, they just didn't want to do it. They're lying to themselves. They're living a lie. And hence, you're going to vomit up. You're going to realize ultimately that you were there to enjoy yourself and thought that this person was a gracious host and that they were doing all of this because they loved you and appreciated you and others, when in fact, none of it was true. It was all one big act. You see, it doesn't have to be about food. It could be a false friendship. It could be acting like you come alongside and see something the way somebody else does, but really don't. I think this is why Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Just be honest. Now do it in love and respect. I mean, truth doesn't need to come across harsh, but it needs to come across, and we need to be truthful. And matter of fact, this person may not have even known they were begrudging at the beginning, but because they move so fast, they never even think about their own motives, but ultimately they realize it. I think Solomon's getting to the point that we have to be honest with ourselves, and we have to be honest and wise when being around others. We need discernment. What's really real right now in the conversation? What's really real? What's really at stake? Do you really mean what you're saying? Boy, if we would just speak the truth in love, we'd never have to ask all those questions. Nor would we have to hide behind the lie and become a begrudging host. I hope that makes a little sense. Verse 9. Do not speak to fools, for they will scorn your prudent words. It's kind of like Jesus saying, don't cast pearls before swine. It's like Jesus saying, go into a town, but if they don't accept you, don't keep beat down the doors. Shake the dust off your feet and go to the next town. Doesn't mean you're condemning them. It's just that they're not ready for you. We should be ready at all times to make a defense, to give an answer for the hope that we have. But ultimately, if we realize that we are face to face with an obstinate, stubborn, not willing to listen and not willing to properly talk, stop the conversation. Don't get into an argument. Don't get into a fight. Just withdraw. In that sense, the person who's blind, dead, and an enemy of God isn't ready to see. They're not even ready to contemplate the idea. And so you're sowing seeds, and some of it's going to fall on the driveway, and birds are going to come and eat up the seed before it even can do anything. So he's not saying don't talk to people. What he's saying is know when to stop. And always know that it's more important to keep the relationship than to win the argument. Because ultimately, it might be elongating that relationship that finally gets you to the point where it's no longer the driveway, but it is good soil for a seed to drop in. All right. I hope that makes sense. I hope it is a blessing to you. Let me finish by saying, have a great day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.